Yes, after reading an article today, it reinforced my belief and thoughts about policing that law enforcement is becoming a lot like real estate. What the heck could I mean by that?
All units respond. Back opposite route. Proceed with caution.
So here you have it. LMPD Chief Erica Shields. Officers are afraid to be proactive for fear of backlash. All of these officers, they want to work. They want the community to be proud of them. They want to do the job correctly. They just want direction. Now, yes, Louisville, Kentucky is where the unfortunate incident of Breonna Taylor being shot occurred. Please understand, I really do not know the ins and outs, every detail of that incident. I'm not here to talk about it in this video. And there unfortunately have been other discouraging factors for police during this fallout since May of 2020 with the unfortunate killing of George Floyd. There have been other incidents of defunding the police that have been some bad consequences that have led to things like this Indianapolis school board voting to disarm its SROs. At that point, you don't have an SRO if the officer there does not have a gun. That's a security officer. Now, I will disagree with that disarming because when seconds count, guess what? The average response time for police to respond to a school for a mass attack, mass casualty, mass killing is 3 minutes. I don't know if they actually went through with this, but they voted on it. And it's very discouraging. Having been a school resource officer for 3 years myself, I can say that school resource officers are very important and they do more mentoring than they do enforcing. That's my personal experience. And then all across these big cities, there's been a spike in crime. It's just continuing to get worse while officers continue to resign and then the defunding efforts are happening. And believe me, I know that there are a lot of areas where police officers have to improve, the training has to improve, but you can't really do that if you don't have money. I'm asking police officers to understand this. Law enforcement has turned into, my opinion, real estate. What the heck do I mean real estate? What is the one very important word when it comes to real estate? Location, location, location. I'm sure you've heard that before. I really do believe that in the near future that law enforcement is all about your location. I know some police officers who work at certain departments who are absolutely miserable. But then I know other police officers who work at other departments and they love it. Different locations. And I can tell you from my experience, I worked briefly 8 months in a town that had to report to a court system that covered a big city. And I saw criminal cases that should have never gotten dismissed like it was no big deal. And it was just a revolving door of crime. And unfortunately, in that city, it's also been part of the uptick in crime, and the higher ups in that department are speaking out because of the increase in crime. It's very discouraging when you do a lot of work to be proactive, and then you put in a lot of time doing paperwork to make sure the case is presented right in court, and it's just tossed out. It can be very discouraging. I've experienced, and fortunately, I went back to another department where the court system, for the most part, was pretty good, or at least decent, and you felt like your work was worthwhile. Heck, I remember one time a criminal told me that when I found him behind a building one night at 3 a.m., I said, "Hey, what are you doing back here?" Because there was an air conditioning shop that actually had been broken into before, and he was right there at 3 in the morning. He said, "Look, if I'm going to do anything stupid, I'm going to go to that city where I can be dumb." And I just busted out laughing. Turns out he was actually cutting through that lot so he could go walking home from a party. All joking aside, I mean, isn't that bad that he said that, where he knew where he could go so he wouldn't be punished? How frustrating can this be if you're a law enforcement officer? So like I said, location, location, location. For police officers who are in the big cities, if you believe that it's your mission to stick it out, then my hat's off to you. If you are disgruntled and miserable and you don't feel supported and you don't know what to do, then I would encourage you to look at law enforcement somewhere else. Because location, location, location. It really all depends where you work now, whether or not you feel supported, whether or not you can actually do the job. It really is amazing how it varies where you go. And this has always been the case, but I really feel like it's going on a lot more, or you feel like you can't do anything, but then say you head to a sheriff's office where they're like, hey, I've got your back as long as you're doing what's ethical and moral and right and professional and you're treating people right, go do what you got to do to stop crime. We want to keep our county safe. It's amazing to me the dynamics of location, location, location. And also, here's something I was discouraged about. And I know you've probably seen this video, but there was a school administrator who asked a police officer to leave as if he was a bad guy doing a bad thing at the school where he walked into patrol. I'm just baffled by that. But here's another thing. Like, we as police officers cannot expect things to get any better for now, in my opinion. So it's like when you expect this kind of stuff, you might not be as discouraged had you not expected it, and then it knocks you out like a left hook. So expect it to happen and really evaluate your career about who you are, why you want to do what you do, all these things that I've talked about in other videos on my YouTube channel and from interviewing people like Chief Gang. Yes, this is a season, and I do believe things will get better in the long run, but unfortunately, it seems like crime's going to continue to surge. Morale will continue to be challenged, but I'm here to help as best I can for you to have a strong mindset, a strong body, and do well on the job. But when you think about it, location, location, location really matters when it comes to law enforcement now, in my opinion. Hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please click the like button below, subscribe to my channel, click that bell notification so you will not miss a video, and I'll be able to help you out even more. Take care, and may God bless.